Welcome to the Roy Anthony and
every
Friends show.
Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody out
Anthony
there?
Show is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank
and Cynthia.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank
and Cynthia.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's when we can kick it.
Every Tuesday.
Everything is going
every
down.
Thursday.
They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, the Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Tuesday.
It's during the week, homie. The Roy
every
Anthony
Thursday.
Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a
Tap in.
before we gotta
Tap
go.
in.
What you listening to? The Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Tuesday.
Come on and kick it with us. The Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Thursday.
It's going down, homeboy. The Roy Anthony Show. Co-host
Tap in.
Big Hank. We getting it. What you think? It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank
and Cynthia.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank
and Cynthia Joy.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Yeah. Boy, I'm hyped up today. Y'all seen my Raiders? That's right. Yeah, I had to represent. And so for real, Max Crosby did his thing. Carson, who's my favorite player on the Raiders for the past 3-4 years, had some off nights. He was going hard against his little brother, I guess, who was a kicker for Green Bay, and he missed 2 field goals. I'm like, oh, that's off. Carson got an off night. And he ain't getting rid of Carson because that's our kicker, right? But anyway, welcome to the Roy Anthony Show. I'm Roy Anthony. Our co-stars will be popping in soon here. That's Big Hank Norman, Cynthia Joy Towner. Want to thank everybody who's been showing up. Oh yeah, you know what, Carl? I'm about to throw that to you right now. He just sent that, and I'm about to send this link. There was somebody I needed to send the link to, and I'm about to send this to Carl while I'm talking on the phone with him as I speak. This is Roy Anthony. We're coming live. It's not scripted. This is October the 10th, 2023. Let me send him this link right quick for him to come on the show live. You understand me? That's my man Carl Loomis. He's gonna be coming here in a second here. Let me get it. Let me send this to him right now. And Carl Loomis is coming in today. Okay, so because the subject we're going to be talking about is how do you calm down when you've been very, very angry? You know, because it seems like some people don't know how to calm down, and so they, they can get volatile and killing and stuff. But anyway, I'm Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show. Like I was stating, my co-stars will be coming in: Big Hank Norman, our queen, Miss Cynthia Joy Towner. We are representing the WO Entertainment, which was created to bring awareness to how our veterans commit suicide on a daily rate, and that's terrible news. And we find out our teenagers is committing suicide at a terrible rate. This is terrible news. And so for over a few years, we have researched, and because the suicide has hit us personally within our own ranks. And one of the things that we have found is depression, feeling inadequate, feeling you don't belong when you do belong. No matter what, how chaotic the world try to paint it and whatever and stuff, you are needed, and your family's needed. Sometimes we can go through something so horrific that we don't believe that we could see tomorrow. We don't even want to try to risk it because fear and stuff. And before I go into that, go farther in, um, the WO, which was created by Richie King, that's AKA his stand-up comedic name is Redneck Pimp. He's also running for the presidency of the U.S. as an independent. Um, he's created this along with the co-creator Goose and a couple other cats. I just don't get into the politics of going through with what they were stating was going on. Um, and then our social producers who make sure that everything is running all right. That's our social producer. That's Blue Phoenix, along with Ethan Daly. And then we have our sponsor, Matthew Brooks, who makes sure that everything is paid for, taken care of. Then we have our good neighbors, like one of my guests. I just seen him in the background, and he jumped off. That's the BV Nation. That's the Backwoods Veterans. That's based out of Oregon. Then we have the Long Beach All Stars. That's based out of Long Beach, California, along with the surrounding cities of Linwood, Compton, and then we had the WO Entertainment that's based around the whole U.S. along with in other countries. And then we give honor to our own personal family, friends, associates, and those who don't like us. Is I mean, and I'm gonna give the honor because this brother right here is and when I say a brother, we talk on different subjects and everything. He comes in, he gives his point of view through the comments. And man, I'm glad that he's coming in. He can come in anytime he wants to. And I'm gonna start sending him links. He watch when I start sending him the links. That's when he's gonna be like, "Oh man, I can't show up." But I don't want to hold him up no more. He's our special guest today, coming out of Oregon. Y'all put your hands together where you at for my brother here. Come on, what's up, Carl Lewis? What's up, bro?
What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Oh man, I can't complain, Carl. Man, it's good seeing you, bro.
Yeah, you too, brother.
Man, Carl had me set up, y'all. If y'all remember, I was so upset about you
Uh,
talking about anger. Tell Carl.
we were both really upset, man. I was in the store shopping, and I was actually like, you can ask the old lady, man. She was like, "Is he not coming this year?" And I'm like, the flights screwed us all the way over." And
Yeah,
and she was like, "I am so bummed. He is so hyped, and so were you. And it really sucks that he he doesn't get to come out." And I was really mad. Like the whole way
yeah,
down there, I put a CB in her truck, and I've got one in my truck. The whole way down there, I was like, "Man, I'm really bummed, man. I'm really bummed. Roy's not coming. Roy's not coming. I'm really upset." And like, I don't know, man. It
yeah,
just
yeah. Man, you ready? Look here, y'all. I was up at 5 that morning. I was so hyped. I've been talking about it because Carl has one of the biggest Jeep rallies on the beaches in this part of Oregon. And it's like, how long many days is it? 4 or 5 days, right?
it's we go for an entire week.
Okay.
We go from one weekend to the next, and it yeah, phew, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you know what? This ain't nothing but the Spirit of God because I was standing in line, y'all, and I'm in where you load the seat. And I'm so hyped that they just we was all getting in line and to start boarding, and the plane is there. About we supposed to be boarding at 9:30,
Somewhere around there.
Central Standard Time. I'm standing, all of a sudden this dude started cussing. And at first, for a second, I got concerned that he's one of these guys and got irate. Here comes the police, so I'm gonna stand in a certain distance, but I'm about to witness this. And then all of a sudden, everybody else started groaning and started going. So what happened was there was no pilots. The pilot's plane was late to fly to Kansas City because I came here to Kansas City I'm gonna take care of mom. And my mom said I should just flew to LA and go from there. Man, plan set, everything, package car, got the two-row. I don't rent cars. I go to two-row, rent it like that, right?
Yeah.
They canceled and said, well, sir, we can get you there by 10 o'clock that night. It's a 2-hour drive. And then I went, man. But I was angry. Now, Carl, you here. You here. Now, Carl's been in the military. Carl can be, and y'all can see that he's laid back. You know, he's one we show his picture with his son on there all the time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're real angry, what do you do to calm yourself down? Or who can calm you down? Go through it, bro.
So I know when I get to the point where I can't control my uprising in energy for the anger that is about to give off, I usually step outside, take a breather. I've been through a lot of counseling. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life where I just, I basically, I do what you do when you're like in kindergarten, you know, you sit down and you count to 10 and then you count from 10 to 1 and you take a deep breath and you do this and you just try to not make mountains out of molehills. You know what I mean? Like you always prepare yourself for the worst possible outcome so that when the outcome happens, it ain't so bad. And it's just years of doing that. And I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to push me. It takes a lot to push me to the ragged edge. But when I get there, I got to go outside. I got to take a deep breath. I got to take off my hoodie. I got to go take a nice long hot shower, go outside, go work on my rigs, my projects I've got. I mean, there's a lot of things that I do for myself to calm myself down so that I don't get to that point.
And now let me ask you something, Carl, because you made a statement, because I had to go through it too. When I was younger, I had to take anger management classes. And I've never been in domestic with women. It was always with dudes or police. And they made me take, wait a minute, Big Hank, before we go on farther, Big Hank is just popping in. Let me bring Big Hank in. What's up, big bro?
What you said, baby?
And Carl Loomis is in the
I'm
house,
looking, man. Carl Loomis in the house, man. What's the deal, Carl?
What's up,
baby?
brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah,
good
you
to
too.
see you. Good, man.
And Big Hank, we talking on the subject, and Carl was just breaking it down about how do you calm yourself, or what do you have to do to calm yourself when you've been real angry? and there's a reason why I brought up this subject for the week, y'all, because and just like Carl, I had to go through anger management when I was younger. I was very volatile to other guys, men in police. And I had myself in situations that I couldn't understand. And I'm gonna be honest with you. When they put me in anger management classes, I thought it was a joke. I don't want it because I've got these people around me talking about what sparked them, and I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? So the guy was like, I'm not getting nothing out of this class. I'm for real. Now, throughout the life, I'm gonna share something with y'all, because throughout my life, some people in my family tease me about it, because I couldn't be in the group, so they set me in this room, and he put these things on me to check my heart rate and everything, and he put on this tape, and the tape was saying, every time I get upset or I find myself getting real angry, I listen to the whales. Then all of a sudden you hear, woo, right? I'm being real. So I thought, man, this stuff is whack. But I'm like, I'm laying here chill. And next thing you know, man, about 3 or 4 days into it, I lied to you not. So I had to do it for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
From that moment on, do you know, like when I found myself getting real angry,
Yeah.
I could hear that dude saying, I'd be like, sometimes I didn't even know that I'm saying that.
Yeah. 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 You listening for whale sounds.
There's nothing there's nothing wrong with conditioning the brain like that though. Like that's just how some people work, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I don't work that way. I was in counseling at a very young age for my anger management as well because I'm a product child of, hey, this kid's got some chemical imbalances going on. Let's give him some medication. Let's
Okay.
let's 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 dope him up so that he doesn't have the opportunity to lose his cool.
Right.
And that's where that counseling came from. And now every once in a while I can hear my counselor in the back of my head going, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can hear him sometimes.
Right.
So, Roy, I can relate with you about the conditioning of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you get that angry, you hear whales, right?
Well, see, I have to force myself because it's gotten past where I didn't. As I got older, I started paying more attention to it, right?
Mhm.
Ramonda, I want to state that Ramonda said hello, Roy and Carl. She had said this. I know she would say Big Hank too.
Yeah. What's up, Amanda?
Now, in the black neighborhood, sometimes we don't relate with mental health issues
Mm-hmm.
like we are being aware of today.
Mhm.
You know, our generation, we rode bikes without helmets and knee pads.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had some major crashes and wrecks.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I kept medicated Vaseline with me because I never know, especially I had this bike where the chain popped off at any moment. And
Yeah.
it ain't no stopping it, you know what I'm saying? So
Uh,
I had
uh,
to take
as far as hey, what's going on, Ramonda? But as far as me having anger problems, I didn't really know that I had an anger problem until I got older. You know what I mean? Uh, but I knew I, I was kind of thrown off because of what happened to me as a youngster. I was molested as a youngster, man. So I didn't experience the anger problems, but I would I get frustrated. You know, I get frustrated easily, or I'm real impatient. You know what I mean? If it ain't done the way I like it to be done, or something like that. But I didn't know I had an anger problem until I started having uh, arguments in the house and shit like that. My head get hot. I'm like, damn, how come my head is hot? What the fuck? And so I didn't know what the fuck that shit was, but my head used to get real hot, and I'm like, man, this shit is. And so what I did is I started learning that I had an anger problem, and so how I would cool off is I'd leave and cool off.
the
That
Carl
would
just
be,
said stated the same thing, you know, and I do the same. I want to say all three of us have that same commonality. Let
yeah.
me step away and cool off. Now, because we had to bring up anger because there's a lot of times people are angry and doing something that's irrational. Now, no one is exempt. Please get me wrong. Look here, no one's exempt from getting angry. Don't act like it because God said anger, but sin not. That means you got a right to get upset and get mad. But
Right.
it's how we deal with it. Now, you just heard three men talk about how we deal with it. Me, you might hear me say, "Ooh, hey, Roy, he's trying to fight from being mad about something." I will get to that point, but you see me get to there, right? This stuff,
If I hear you doing that woo, I'm just gonna ease out the room and I'll be like, oh shit, he on that I'm gonna just ease out the
That's what my mother
room.
sometimes say. Like we might have a disagreement. She'd be like, "You need to go listen to them whales." That's what you need to do.
Go get your stuff together, man. You need to get your stuff together, man. Go listen to some whales or something.
Yeah, that part. That part, man. It be make me upset, but then my wife be like, you need to don't you mention my whales. The whales are mean. Don't you mention them. Right. Hey, but before we go any farther, fellas, because this is hindsight. See, this is humans. It's not about what race, what cars our brother.
Yes, sir.
You know, for real. So, and he feels comfortable, be himself, say what he
Yes,
wants. And
Yeah.
so sometimes we might disagree. Me and Big Hank sometimes disagree, but he deals it in a cool way. Like he worked with me about my language. I wasn't heady about, I'm gonna say it the way I want to.
Right.
All he's doing is looking out for how we can be better.
Yes,
Sure.
sir. Yeah.
And Carl want to be with us, man. It's for real.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, man.
Now-
Welcome with both arms, man. Welcome, man. We welcome.
Hell
you, man.
yeah.
We welcome. Yes,
told him
sir.
I'm gonna flood his phone all the time with the links and stuff. Now, before we go any farther, we want to let y'all know we have a comedy show in downtown Long Beach on
Yeah.
Thursdays. And I'm gonna tell you something. This man right here, Big Hank, oh my God, he ripping a hole in it. You feel me? And hey, look, it's every Thursday night.
Yes.
It's at 237 Long Beach Boulevard, but please come around the back. We know that the football game is coming on, but when whatever region you are, our show comes on after because
After the football game.
You can watch it on YouTube. Just go Roy Anthony Live. There ain't even no links no more. We passed the links.
Wow.
Put Roy Anthony Live in.
Wow.
Our queen just showed up. Let me bring her in because I know she's driving. And so, what's up with you, Miss Cynthia Joy?
Hey.
Woo, 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 woo. Hey, Sugarfoot Sweet Faces.
Hello.
How y'all doing? I just decided to pop in real quick. I'm at this school event. You know, when you get scholarships, they make you do the reception events and all that kind of stuff to meet the donors. So
Right.
I got to meet the donors and do my act right, put some smiles on some faces and pass the Cynthia Joy around, you know, get the good vibes.
Well,
congratulations. Congratulations.
For real.
Thank you.
And she representing us, y'all. She gonna show up, and so that lets us know she's still on her heart while she's doing something major.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know that's right. So you go on and represent, and we're gonna get on this conversation and stuff.
Do your thing. I'll pop in later. Y'all have a blessed one. Love you all and stay
Hey man,
up.
you looking real nice too. You looking like you're going to the White House. hold our president's eyelids open.
I'll see y'all next month.
Okay, you look great, Cynthia. All right.
Thank you, boo.
Yeah.
So did she say next month?
Yeah, she's supposed to be coming to the show. She's supposed to be coming to the show.
Oh yeah, that's right, to the show. Not this, the stand-up comedy show. Hey y'all, look, you can catch it. We're gonna have merchandise that's gonna be selling. Big Hank has his clothing line is on point. I got my shirt and stuff for real. Gangsters for God.
Gangsters for God, yes, sir.
Now, just Carl been in the military, and we was mentioning this last Thursday about when we was talking about revenge, and I brought up something, and I did a check, and it stated that most military that becomes a police officer is the least one to shoot an unarmed suspect compared to police that have never served in the military, that most 99.9% of fatalities is from their hands. Now, Carl's proven military, for real. And Carl, you tell me if I'm wrong on that statistic.
You know, I've actually never done any of the research on that statistic. You know, I just think that most of the guys that were in the military have more of a moral understanding of what the individual they've got a gun pointed at or their taser or whatever the case may be, or I think that they have more of a moral understanding because they've been through the mud, the blood, the shit, the sweat, the tears, the losing of their friends. And I think that they have a better understanding as to why they don't pull the trigger, unlike somebody who's not so much crooked in a way, but somebody who's never been through that training, somebody who's never been through, the oh gosh, I was going on a train of thought. Someone who's never really been there and done it. They've never seen a life lost. They don't understand it.
Right.
I think that somebody who's been through life loss or lost their battle or their battle buddy or lost loved ones or friends or brothers or aunts or uncles that were serving that may have gotten ambushed and not come home. I think the people that are in the military that have gone into the police force have a way better understanding as to what life really is, a loss of life really is, and how it feels to lose that life.
Hey, but Carl, let me ask you this. Let me ask you a quick question, though. To my understanding, though, is that you can be court-martialed if you're in the military, but you're going through all those dangers you just described, and if you shoot some innocent people and stuff, on purpose or whatever, you can be court-martialed. I'm correct?
I believe so. I believe you could be knocked down to rank and thrown in the brig, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it depends on the severity of the actions, I guess. Like if someone was just sitting there and I decided to pull a gun out and make cherry pie, yeah, I'm gonna go to military prison. But I really don't know that process because I've never had to think about it.
But yeah. Now, when you hear this type of stuff, y'all, when y'all hear the stuff that we hear from like domestic stuff, because what really made me pay attention is that some police you're so quick to pull a gun on somebody who you say you were scared. For one, you can't, if you be scared, you still gotta be rational. But when I seen the situation down there in Uganda, Texas, whatever, and the police officers were scared to counter the shooter, but was out arresting the parents that wasn't, trying to get in there. I've been
So they went and arrested the Uganda school shooter's parents after they had killed the Uganda school?
While the shooter was active.
While the shooter was active, they went and arrested the parents.
They was okay. The parents is trying to get in there to their kids. They hear the active shooter. The police is telling them you can't cross the line. The parents, and so they start arresting the parents that was trying to get in there to the active shooter. The video showed them standing outside the hallway. Now, what had happened was it took a border patrol who was getting his hair cut. His daughter was at that school. That joker came in that mud like John Cena and for real. Them guys was all standing there. He came in there like, to get that, bam, bam. You get me, I get you. These old fat belly guys are standing there like, we're waiting for the janitor. Shoot the doorknob off.
Right.
Where's your, for real?
Yeah.
That made me real angry.
Yeah.
It makes me real angry that you will sit up here and you shoot someone that doesn't have a cell phone. How this looks like a revolver. How this, you reaching, I shot, what you shooting me for? Because I don't have nothing. How do you look? Oh, let me tell you one thing that made me upset, Carl, Big Hank. The police officers called these people's family in the middle of the night. Called a young dude, he's 30. Called his house in the middle of the night and tell him that your son was in a terrible car accident. 1 o'clock in the morning. They telling the son's car it was accident. Okay, so of course the parents is crying and stuff. You know, you waking in the middle of the night, your child is being killed in a car accident. But somebody got into the tapes at one of the captain's house garage that had all the footage from the body cams. Now, Pete, they just started at the new spot. Roving reporter, somebody got aware of it, got it. Showed these cops was beating this boy so bad. He's asking, he said, "What did I doing?" He said, "Hey, man, I'm your brother, man." They was killing him, dragging him, and everything, right? They start, man, you know, it's just like murder, straight murder. And then called the parents to say he died in a car accident because it was dragging him. Okay, I got very, 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 very mad. And I want everybody who's watching this, I got terrible angry. But Big Hank had it was mentioning something that's been staying in my mind the whole time. Vengeance is of the Lord's. Now, there's a difference between revenge and vengeance, though. See, vengeance is what they did to the boy. It wasn't nothing he did to them for revenge. If this was vengeance because of either his race or whatever, you feel me? It was vengeance. Well, right. God said vengeance is of the Lord, which meaning they're gonna get it worse than what they gave out, basically.
Right, right. And that guy got the choice to choose who he give it to. You got rid of me. He got the choice to give it to whoever he want to give it to. You know what I mean? So that's vengeance. That's vengeance.
Man, see, because look, okay, revenge, when you try to, it seems kind of equal where you did this to me, I'm gonna do that back to you.
Yeah.
But vengeance is that strike. It ain't a counter strike. It's a
wham. Yeah, wham. Yes, sir.
Like the Hamas military just did Israel just out the blue. They just like, but now they small, man, but they got heart.
They're mighty.
Small against that big old country, but they got heart.
Yeah, they do.
Man, and I just want to say this. I've seen some people's pastors and the word of God say protect Israel, but it's not talking about the country because that country was established in 1954. He's talking about us people, the children of Israel. It's not that particular country. And a lot of corporations and politics put the taxpayer aim towards that we're helping protect that. We're protecting, policing the world because there's some terrorist people that want to hit us up so much and make us you know what I'm saying? It's a power trip. You got the leader of Korea, leader of China, leader of India. Look here, man, they fighting beyond on some stuff on some scales. I thought that India and China was cool. They seem to be very mad at each other. It seems like we've always had time. I don't know how we get these little mixed up in these little countries like Taiwan and stuff, right? We're about to fight with China over some little country thing. You would understand that more than I do, Carl.
I don't know how I don't understand how we really get mixed up into it anyways, other than, you know, maybe a plead for help from the other countries that are getting battered by the vengeance. You know, these people that just decide to go in and attack. I don't, you know, I didn't understand why we went in and went into, but well, I mean, I guess I could understand it. It's because we like to do one of these numbers, you know,
flex on.
Yes, flex it, you know,
the big brother thing. Here I come. Yeah, I'm the big brother.
Like, hey, I'm coming in here. I'm gonna wreck these fools and I'm gonna leave.
But it made me upset though when here lately. And I'm about humanity. Right. But I'm also about cleaning, making sure my front doors and my family's taken care of before I started trying to help other people.
And that's
I
our
didn't like where's all this money, close to over $1 billion, go to Ukraine when we got too many homeless here, veterans, homeless, hungry.
I
I don't
think
understand that.
the one thing that made me the most angry is hearing about a hotel in New York that kicked out all the homeless vets to take in all the refugees from Ukraine that were coming over here just so they could charge them $10 to $20 more. But they kicked out all of the vets all the way from Vietnam all the way to current that were homeless, that were staying there, that were getting paid by the VA. They were getting paid by their veterans disability benefits,
What?
and they booted them all out. They booted every single one of them out. You want to talk about pissed? I threw my phone through a TV.
Yeah.
We're not helping people here, man. It's
Now,
all about
you
it's
see how you saying that? I want to relate something with you now because we all on the same page.
Yeah.
The Laotians, when I was in high school, they let the Laotians come and they gave them a house, a car, and a job and had them in the neighborhood. They started the swap meets. That was the only place you can go to get your Malcolm X sweaters and all that. Remember that, Big Hank?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I can relate to that, and that's foul. Well, what was you about to say, Big Hank?
No, I was just saying, yeah, I remember when they had the X, the X hats and the Malcolm X, all that. Yeah, I remember.
When you sit up here and you're going to go away, push over what do Ukraine people got on us? And if they do our own veterans like that, and it didn't say no race, they kicked them veterans out to get them Ukrainians in. I feel like Richard Pryor when the Vietnamese was coming over. You remember about Richard Pryor? He said, why you said white people got them some new black folks. I ain't gonna say the N-word, right? But it has some new black folks up in here. You know what I'm saying? So like Ukraine, think America's trying to reply. They about to get rid of the white folks that y'all brothers. They about to bring Ukrainians in. They gonna be new white folks. And you over there with us, Carl, for real. You gonna be eating collard greens and
hey man, hey. I spent some time out in North Carolina. Collard greens and cornbread and a big, fat, thick, stick-to-your-ribs type chili, man.
Oh, okay.
That's what's up.
Because you know what, me and Richie talk about this all the time. It's the media that keeps us, diversified.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about the media, it made me angry. About 2-3 years later after the COVID pandemic, look how bad they spun that up. It made me angry to see that the media was the one that did that, to control and make everybody hyped up and upset and mad and sad, and it made me angry.
Felt like, Carl, you know what though? What I noticed though when it came down to that COVID stuff, man, is that the social media. Okay, I seen people. You've been going to your doctor all this time. They have you healthy and everything. Big Hank has a doctor that he goes to his doctor all the time. All of a sudden, people got all the medical knowledge on Facebook and stuff. My cousin and them had this showing a video of some lady sitting in the doctor's smock talking. I said, what's her name? What type of doctor is she? I looked the lady up. Here she was a nurse assistant. Ain't even a doctor or nothing, right? And so the ones who were saying now, did it affect anybody with underlying health issues? If you don't get out there and work it out, even if you called it like a flu. Now, when I was a kid, and ever since I've been an adult, I didn't make a company make me come to work if I had the flu. I stayed home for 2 to 3 days. They start telling people to fight the fever with taking Dayquil, and you can still come out. But what Dayquil can't do, or NyQuil, fight contagiousness.
Yep.
Now, what I got pissed off about that whole thing is when they shut the whole country down.
That was just
a lot of mom and pop stores and companies went out because who said? I don't remember voting that Walmart should be essential for me.
Me neither.
Did anybody have the essential Who
No,
controls that?
they didn't ask us for no help. They just did.
They
Shit.
said this is essential. This means if you want to live, you got to go to these places to get toiletry and all that.
Yeah.
McDonald's was essential. How to eat astronaut food because
I'd rather eat some MREs before I'd eat another McDonald's hamburger, bro. I ain't gonna shit for a week, but hey, whatever.
Man, I'm saying, man, I don't even think that's meat no more, man.
Oh,
It ain't meat. It ain't meat, man.
Surprise! It's
I don't know
surprise
what
what
the
that
it
is.
is.
It's
I see.
the French fries is bad.
Listen, man, I seen a hamburger. That motherfucker was sitting outside. It sat outside for about 3 months. The bread disappeared. Everything started, but that motherfucking meat looked just the same. I said, wait a minute, that shit ain't changed at all. Shit.
When you get a real burger, your bread gets that's why I like Five Guys. I go there because they feed you a real burger because your bread getting all mushy. Now you're trying to keep it together because the grease from the meat is made. But man, when I sit up there, my bread just is dry. But let me tell you what happened. One of the homies had put his French fry in the ashtray. And,
We'll see.
And he lit something, and it caught the French fry lit. But the French fry didn't burn, but it was consumed by some faith. I don't know. The French fry was still there, but it was burning, but it was not burning.
It was like
outside
Jesus.
was burning.
It was like Jesus. The French fry was like Jesus.
No, like the burning bush that Abraham. It was burning, but it was not being consumed.
See, I did that whole like fast food kick too, where I just stopped eating Taco Bell, I stopped eating McDonald's, I stopped eating Wendy's, Dairy Queen, whatever the case may be, whatever I could get. I stopped eating it. And then I just recently fell back on the choo-choo train on that. And I was eating McDonald's one day. And there was this video that came on YouTube where they poured molten rock on top of that burger and it never burned. It never caught on fire. And this is lava rock, bro. This is lava rock that was melted to the point where it was lava again. And it never caught on fire.
Oh, wow. See,
and then there was another video that came up on that said, hey, did you know that there is a specific type of potato that they use for their French fries? I was like, okay, yeah, we knew that. And then they're like, there's a pesticide that they put on those potatoes in the ground where the farmers will not go outside of their house for 5 days because that pesticide is so bad. That was it. Yeah. No more McDonald's in my house.
Yeah, Ramon just said political tactics. They're trying to prepare Americans for change. Did you know currently in China, everyone has a social score that determines your livelihood? Well, they have that same thing here. It's called pay salary, your wage per year. So I'm looking at this commercial with Steve Harvey saying, I done told you to get your $1,6,500. So I called it, right? See what it's up. Looked it up. The first thing it said was, do you make over 50,000? So I was like, yeah, you don't qualify. That was the next thing. I'm like, man, it's no gray area. Now look here. What made me mad about that central, about the coat and everything? I'm just now thinking about this. Why did Walmart and McDonald's and 7-Elevens was essential? Now,
because who own them?
Yeah, I knew that this was devilment, man, because God always tells us to greet each other with a hug and a kiss. You see your family members, you want to give them a hug. It may be some uncle, auntie you ain't seen in 5 years, you didn't like them then, and after about 20, 30 minutes, you'll recollect why you didn't. But when you see them, you give them a big hug, like, hey. But it told us no socialize. I seen some people burying their loved ones and had to look at them buried virtually. And I was like, man, it felt controlling at that time. It felt real control. Like And people say, well, they was corralling us. Man, they've been corralling us with the Social Security numbers in the DNA, because American hospitals are the only hospitals that keep your placenta and stuff in a bag when a child is born.
Yeah, and then they ask the mothers if they want to eat them. Isn't that disgusting?
Eat them? What that
That's right,
bothers you?
bro. They'll give them an opportunity to take it home if they would like to eat it,
Oh
or
my God.
put it in a dry pill, a time release pill.
For
It's gross.
real?
For
I
real.
thought they saved it in a souvenir, like, you know, those little jelly jars, and put some type of peroxide and be like, hey, look here, this was your placenta and stuff, you know.
No. When my son was born, they asked him if she wanted to take it home and eat it.
Oh my goodness.
I was
Wow. Wow.
Come on, baby. It's a year. Wait, but what if it was like a piece of cake when somebody get married?
There you go, son. This was yours for 9
You
months.
know, you and your wife, y'all gotta eat that. Y'all gotta like baby every year look at them.
I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of disgusting things. But that right there, when she asked if they wanted to keep it in the delivery room, that's why the father's faint.
But man, I've been in there, man. They, you know, man, that's a new one on me, Carl.
It's true. It's true.
Man. Hey, now let me tell you something. You know, back to what would you advise to somebody, Big Hank, and calm down without seeming, I'm on the outside looking in, because sometimes we can sound cliche-ish, right? Because I used to get, I didn't like someone say, well, what Jesus do? Man, that irked the mess out of me.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what would you say to them, Big Hank? Like, if you was to calm somebody down, how would you go about it?
If I'm trying to calm somebody down,
Yeah.
and
Well, how do you get past being angry? You said you walk around and stuff, right? But what if it's somebody who's close, like, you know,
I
your
got
wife
you
or
up.
one of the big homies that you know and stuff? How do
I
you?
tell them, I say, look here, man, you finna go to jail. You don't calm your ass down, you're gonna end up in jail. Shit, that's first. All right. That's first thing I say,
You
man,
get
relax,
realistic
calm
with
down.
it. The
You don't
possibility.
want to do nothing stupid and end up in jail. Okay.
There
You don't
you.
want to do that. All right. And
Yes.
so yeah, okay. So that'd probably be the first thing. And if I'm around one of my folks, man, I'll be like, man, here, hit this. Shit, hit this, calm down. Shit, hit that. Shit, calm your ass down, man. Smoke some of that real quick. Man, but anything, man, other than I try to get their mind off of whatever it is they doing, and I do anything to try to get their mind off of that for that time being.
Mm. Somebody said we can't see who your name is. It just say Facebook user. She has said hey, or he or she said hey y'all. Then they said they talking about that placenta, which you was talking about, Carl. They said they can send it out and put it in capsules for mothers' health benefits and some other ways as well. I guess it's like
Right.
this is really your baby. Okay, this y'all, you know what I'm saying? I guess DNA check. Like, okay, Big Hank, you said some two real things. If anything, first,
Don't do nothing
going
stupid.
to jail. You know, you telling that person the possibilities. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, I understand what you're mad, but man, I'm gonna tell you, but if you don't bring it
Yeah.
down, you're going to go into jail. That's a
Yeah.
timeout.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yes,
a
sir.
real homie. Because when
Yeah.
that was said to me, sometimes now if I was by myself, I didn't have no one to say that to
Right.
me. I end up
Yeah.
going to jail. But when if somebody around was like, man, you better cool down, man. I said, you every bit of right. You feel me?
Yes,
You
sir.
know. Carl, what do you do?
Well, usually what it is I kind of try to do the same thing Hank did. Big Hank, he made mention of jail. And, I think when it comes to my friends getting angry, there's a lot of guys that are on my friends list that get really wilding out and out of control. The first words out of my mouth is, don't do nothing stupid. You about to be allergic, bro, and break out in silver cups.
Yo,
You
you
better
don't
chill
want
that
that.
ass back.
You don't want
Boy, you better,
that.
We found
hey, do
out.
you need a
And we
beer?
found,
Do you need a cigarette? Do you need to go outside and have a dip or something? Do you need to,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
and we
you
found out
know?
who was the Facebook user is Carl's wife. So this is
Hey,
Carl's
Carl
wife.
Oh,
White, man.
That's weird that it came in like that. I wonder why it came in like that. That's odd.
He can see it himself. So, how you doing, Miss Loomis?
Yeah.
Y'all was telling it real. Now look here. You know what I like? 3 different walks of the world, but still men under God, one God, and stuff. And we have so much commonalities. How do we ever know this unless we have a conversation?
That's right.
Right. And the reason me and Carl speaking what we speaking is because from experience.
That's right.
That's the only way you're gonna know. Walk around and did some stupid shit and ended up in jail.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Without checking myself.
But Big Hank, you in Long Beach, Carl in Oregon, and
yes, sir.
I never have this conversation. Carl won't know how you think. You wouldn't know how Carl think. I wouldn't know how neither one would think. You know understand what I'm saying? Unless we talk about it. Then me on the outside saying these are 2 experienced brothers. These brothers know how to act. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who's listening, you know, sometimes now you got to have wisdom in when to interject yourself. Some things is not your business, and you can't be Superman. That's a fantasy. You know, you got to know where in your place is. That's why I say God said have the wisdom to change the things you can, the knowledge to change the things you can, and the wisdom to know when you cannot. It's not in your hands. This is leaving in God's hands. Now, y'all talked about how y'all calm down to your own individual self. Now you shared with how you would calm someone down. Now I'm gonna give y'all. I just gave y'all some ultimate ones of, you know, travesties and stuff like that. We even talked on some world things because, you know, I've been pissed off why we gave all this money to Ukraine. You know, I mean, I'm like, hey man, you know, forget this student debt forgiveness stuff and all that on the Congress thing. I don't even know why that's on the Congress. If you give me enough money, I'm gonna pay my college debt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, big Richard King just came in. He said CO, and so of course he always trying to tease Roy Suggs. Of course, you know, that's our little rib and stuff, you know. And I'm the only one talking about voting for him. But we're dealing with anger. Those who showing up, we're dealing with anger. And what we've been doing is taking a subject and lasting it a week, you know, because these are the characteristics that we're trying to get to where we always talk about we love God and but God has 12 characters of his personality. One of them is called self-control. Because some people you get angry and you lose. And just like Big Hank and Carl said, you end up going to jail. Now, and don't let your anger, I've seen where people push somebody. And if you had never pushed them, they had never slipped and their head hit the ground and either killed them or made them mentally challenged. You know what I'm saying? Now you like, oh,
what you mean push somebody? You mean push them like physically or push them, or push them over the head? Okay, I got you. Okay, I got you.
And this one guy was this guy like got upset and he pushed him like get out my face. And when he pushed him, he slipped and his head hit the pool table corner and it made him mentally, you know, challenged. And of course, he going to jail for aggravated assault and stuff. See, sometimes, you know, I've seen where somebody cut me off in traffic. Yes, they made me mad. But guess what? I didn't go revenging. I didn't go drive my car up to them real fast and stuff. And then it caused a major accident. Doesn't make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I look, Big Hank would have said, hey man, let that go, man. You about to cause a big accident,
man. And I'm in the car with you, man. Let that go.
You know what I'm saying?
Leave that alone.
Somebody's trying to tell somebody, yo, upset, man. We need to do this. We need to do that. Sometimes, man, we got to say, hey, you know what? Know the circumstances and everything. And for one, let's get a leveled head.
Right.
That's like what my stepdad used to say. Don't sweat the petty shit. Pet the sweaty shit.
Do you feel?
Wow.
Don't sweat the petty shit. If it's worth getting angry over, get angry over about it. Get over it.
Get
If
over
it's
Right.
if it's somebody who hurts you and gets angry about it, do your thing, say your piece, and then shut the hell up. That's what my stepdad used to tell me all the time.
Yeah. But see, that's what they used to say in the house, just like beating a dead horse.
Yeah,
I was
my best.
taught if I say, hey, man, my bad, I'm ending it right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's ended. Because if that person don't forgive you, then that sin's on them. It's not, I've been forgiven of it. You keep bringing it up, then that's on you. Because I asked for forgiveness, I done moved on. With some people, but when I find myself, and I'm telling anybody, and this is for somebody out there, you find yourself getting real mad, upset. Some days we all have those days where nothing goes right. I woke up, my baby toe on the bed rail. Oh man, good. Slip my phone, it dropped. Dog jumping on me. Get your tail down. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? It can make where all of a sudden it seems like a snowball. But everybody, please find me.
But even that stuff was small. That wasn't nothing but some small stuff. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Yes.
I got an old cliche I used to live by. I used to say, man, that's small shit to a giant. You know what I mean? Just so I won't get caught up in it. You know what I mean, man? Leave that alone, man. That's small shit to a giant, man. You know what I mean? So that's how I used to use that one, man, a lot.
and that's a good point right there, Richie. Right there, he said it
Yes.
good. And Hank, that's it right there.
Go ahead, man.
That's
Go and read
that.
for us, Carl. Go ahead and read it. You got to do what Cynthia be doing. Go
Too
ahead and
many
read.
people don't want to admit it that they are wrong, and their healing is delayed, and that is very correct.
True.
Hey, man,
True.
it's also dealing with forgiveness because I'm going to tell you, I've been patterning myself along with the basic instructions before leaving Earth. And it says that if you have aught with anybody to forgive them, so God in heaven can forgive you, then you can ask God for anything, he will give it to you. That's the truth. And I've been doing that. Guess what? He's been giving
And
it.
if you don't forgive them for their trespasses, my Father in heaven won't forgive you. He says that also.
Yeah.
That's right.
If you don't forgive them for their trespasses, my Father in heaven also won't forgive you. So
And so if we treat somebody in that order and stuff, and we're gonna get on to that subject, what he was just saying. What I was gonna get into that Thursday, what Richie said. I didn't want to how it's delayed, how we won't admit that we're wrong about something, how we won't confess up, because sometimes it's bravado with guys. With guys, we don't want to look like, oh, I'm weakening him because I apologize. Or even to your lady or whatever. God bless you, Carl.
Thanks.
Even to your lady kids, even with my kids when they were growing up, sometimes they pointed something out and I said, oh, you know what, daddy, wrong. And they respect me for that because I admitted I was wrong sometimes. That's right, I did say that. So hey, until we see each other Thursday, I'm gonna send you that link now, Carl.
All right.
And you gonna regulars because you know the subject, and he's feel comfortable. He don't mind. Did you feel uncomfortable not to talk?
Absolutely not, dude. It's a conversation, not a confrontation, right?
Man,
yes,
that part right
sir.
there.
Come on, man. Oh, he already in. He just passed the qualifying test. That's it.
But he came on that time when we was talking about child supports for me.
Yep.
We're gonna
Remember?
resurface that and stuff because sometimes we got to be able to speak up. We let a lot of women speak. We let a lot of dudes whose name between men and women type of nature misspeak. We're gonna be on these subjects too, but sometimes they need to hear real men talk.
Of course.
And how we can help other men on how to deal with anger. Those who's in California, Los Angeles area, come out to the comedy show. If you're not there anywhere in the US or in the world, you can watch it on YouTube. Just go Roy Anthony Live. I should have put that up and stuff. Go to Roy Anthony Live.
And Roy, you got to change that date on that thing. On the
That
flyer.
was just the first night. I'm gonna take that October
All right.
off. Yeah, I'm gonna take
All
that off.
All right.
And so we got that. They working on that now. So I'm showing it. This is the weekly comedy shows every Thursday. You can come in, check out the show. Man, it was very nice. That show was on point. It was on point. If you're not in the in Cali, you can watch it on YouTube anywhere. If you're in the Midwest, it's 10:30 Thursday p.m. East Coast is 11:30. Hope to see you there. We have one more Richie said Dr. Degahoy and stuff. I guess that brand was still there. But anyway, y'all, hey man, it's a great conversation, bro. Hope that it helps somebody. Big Hank, what's your closing comments, bro?
Man, you know how I do it, man. I get down like this, man. I live life like God is watching because he is. You should do the same.
You heard what he said. Live like God's watching. Carl, what you got to end with, man?
Be good to yourself and be good to other humans. And if you get angry, remember the steps to calm down.
That's
Hey,
right. Yes,
and
sir.
like you said, I agree with both they say. And if anything, you know, I'm telling you, it works for me. I hear them wells. Ooh. Hey, man, God bless. See you Thursday, y'all.
I heard that well. I heard them wells. I'm out of there, man.
You better scoop.
Welcome to the Roy Anthony and every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in. Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Roy Is anybody out there? Is the spot to be, baby. Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show.